gonna have team colors on for a bit because it's gonna be hard to figure out where these guys are going. You're probably all gonna want to go to the same location or a similar location. You saw on the Rex I casted last night with Free Folk and Taco and Burrito. In the one situation, Taco and Burrito had one player exposed. So the red is one team, then the blue player and the other three yellows is another player. Red currently is the Poland squad. You guys are still doing your gold rushes too early. Tafelbot will inform you when you can do the gold rushes. Unfortunately, I have to sit out and watch you guys do the gold rushes, and it's going to hurt. Anyway, Mongols, Chinese, Mayans, and Spanish are the civs. As you can see, Poland teams kind of setting themselves up in the corners here. And there you go. Now you can spam the gold rush. Go ahead and spam it. You know what? There's a small pause, so I'm going to spam it too. Gold rush 1,000. The maximum amount is 1,000, and I want to hit Tyrant Reserve. That's what I want to happen. So there's a small pause here. Look at that. We can now hit the Tyrant Reserve. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going with your gold rushes. There's a pause. You know, I told the players to pause so I'd be able to gold rush. 10k gold rush has been removed. I'm not sure why, though. Keep going. Keep going. 1,000. All right, we're in the game. We're in the game. We'll take a look at the positions and everything. Come on, keep going. Hit the bank of Super Bua. This is all that matters. This is all that matters. Okay, positions. Here we have Chinese Tiger, and we have Philip playing as Mongols. Then in the orange, we have El Quark playing as the Spanish, and I believe they have one other player here. There we go, he's over here, and that's J Squared playing as Mayan. So J Squared subbed in for Schmoof. Meanwhile, DZ, Mayans, yes. Then below, we're gonna find, like in the yellow, Remy playing as Mongols. To the right-hand side, we have KY playing as Chinese. Then way in the corner, we have pink, purple, whatever, playing as Spanish. Looks like I'm guessing they have lag issues. Because Jay has been one of those players where he's been like, oh, it's fixed. But I don't think it is fixed. But I don't think it would be as late in the game either. If you're not familiar with Bedouins, it's a pretty interesting map setup. The shorefish are the fastest collecting food source for a villager, besides Mongols hunt. So we're not going to see any of the deer or anything collected till much later. And we're going to see a lot of mills on these little ponds. The Mongols players might be tempted to go for some of the boars, depending on where they're located, but as you can see, they're putting TCs and mills up on the shorefish. Now, we could see a sling the Mayans, or a sling the Spanish, probably Mayans, but because plumed archers and conquistadors are absolutely insane. I don't know how many of you saw the T90 series between Vinch and MBL, but Vinch was just incredible with his conquistadors that game. And I expect that we could see a large amount of raiding done with those units. Tiger apparently has a lot of boars. Yeah, he has a lot of boars here. I'm not even like, I don't get excited anymore about the boars on Bedouins because, you know, he won't see them using. If he was Mongols, then that'd be an exciting thing. But that is pretty crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Lots of deer and more deer out here. So no shortage of food. So, we're in the bank of Super Bua as well. That's pretty exciting. Poland is complaining because Jay apparently is having issues. He says, man, it's still better than with Chinese. That's what Clark said. Oh, man. And this would be pretty interesting. I'm curious to see, like, let's say, for example, Poland loses this game. Black Forest wins it. Poland's going to be pretty salty about the lag.
Enemy sighted.
We're gonna have to pay attention to the sheep scouting. Obviously, there's no Karcha from the get-go, but you're gonna see sheep being lost to other players' TCs. And this is quite a hectic map, but it is really good to figure out where your opponents are. Now, because the shorefish collect so fast, you can see pretty early castle age times as well. As far as the builds are concerned, 21, 22, 23 builds, you can go up and do a fast castle. So I think the Mayans players, the Spanish players, are going to try and get on stone, get that castle up and around the TC, and then they're going to try and be aggressive. But as you can see, we're spectating the game. It does pause every once in a while, and the players are probably really pissed off about it, but nothing they can really do now, I guess. So, still just waiting for these players to build up their economies. Something that's pretty important is that they're all in the same position. We talked about it last night with Free Folk. They were in a better position than Taco and Burrito. Taco and Burrito slaying the Mayans player and went into Eagles. And because that Mayans player was so under pressure, it really did not work out. But it looks like these teams have it together. I mean, if you look this, we have DZ. Just to the right, we have KY. And then we have Purple here as well. So white behind them is Remy. And they all seem to be in a pretty good position. These guys are pretty cramped next to one another. I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing, but I do notice that. They're really close to one another. But if you look at the total Vil count now, it looks like Philip has not been doing the greatest this game. He's at Mongols, 15 Vils. I want to see what his food income's like. Yeah, this is not pretty from him. He doesn't have a mill up here yet. And he doesn't, as Mongols, have any hunt around either. Meanwhile, if you look at Tiger, I mean, look at all the fishing going on here. I'm surprised those nets aren't getting tangled, you know? I mean, those are some pretty hefty nets, pretty heavy-duty nets, and they're just going after the same fish. I'm surprised they haven't actually snagged each other just yet. I'm sure it will happen if Tiger gets an even better food economy. But yeah, you're certainly right talking about it in the chat now. 18 Vils for Philip and 19 for Remy. So Remy's not doing too hot either. He's the other Mongols player, interestingly enough. But I think Mongols are really going to benefit when they run out of these shorefish and there is hunt. They can put a TC on it. But both Mongols player are kind of far away from boards. Actually, it looks like we could see the Mongols player go up here to these boards later at some point, but... Alright, that gold rush was absolutely insane as well. We had like, that payout was ridiculous, so well done to everybody who joined in. But there are the uptimes. Looks like J squared going up with a total of 22 villagers, and same goes for a lot of these other players. 21 for Gray, Red's on 22, and the uptimes going to be pretty interesting. Like if you look at J squared, is the one who clicked up, I guess, second to last. Look at his food now. It's a 380. And look at how many mills he has. So here's the TC. He has a mill here, mill here, mill here. So he's going to have pretty decent food to be able to click up. Also, he's already on stone. So he's going to be going for that castle. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a Sling the Mayan situation. Oh, I hear a boar. Someone's collecting a boar finally. There you go. It looks like Tiger's like, why not? I gotta collect these boars. Gotta collect one of them. It's pretty good, though. I mean, that's gonna give him a lot of food. He certainly will use that at some point. If he puts up another TC, it'd be good to put it right where the boars are. Next to extra shorefish. He's not gonna have any shortage of food. Alright, so just paying attention to the builds. I'm gonna probably stay on J squared's point of view. And then also the other Mayan player who is DZ. Because I want to figure out if they're going to be slung. If you look at the stone from J squared, like I said, first of all, his time is going to be fantastic. But his stone's going to be enough for a castle. But if someone like in the back were to just start slinging, it'd be pretty effective. But it is a team game, so I don't know if we'll see it. Like in a team game, the sling maybe isn't as effective. Well, okay, that was worded incorrectly. All team games, sling can only happen in team games. You literally need an ally. But what I'm saying is in a 4v4, it might not be as effective. That was a stupid thing to say. You can't sling in a 1v1. I didn't mean to say it like that. And looking at the castle each time is actually just 2-second difference between DZ and J squared. And still no indications that we'll see a sling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players on the way up. And most likely the other 2 to follow. Take a look at Philip. Obviously Philip was struggling, and the same goes for Remy. There you go. Philip's going to go up as well. So we're most likely going to see knights from everyone except the Mayan players. Mayan's going to go for that castle and go for plumes. It'll be interesting to see if they do get the castle up, depending on their positioning. This dark gray mod is catching me off guard with the Mayan player here. It does look similar to green. If you look across here, it's pretty similar, but maybe only as pronounced when players are right next to one another. Philip on the way up to the Castle Age, Remy on the way up to the Castle Age, so everybody's going to be getting the Castle Age technologies. And I like the walling here from Pink. He's going to just wall this off and make sure he's secure. Now he's probably going for that castle as well, and we'll have to pay attention to where they're going to put the castles up. Like, that's a lot of stone coming in now from El Quark, so he's committing to it. We're going to have Conquistadors and Plumed Archers, and I favor the... In the early game, I favor the Conquistadors. They're more mobile, they're stronger, they can pick off vills pretty fast. So I think if you're putting a castle up, you need to think about where you're putting it up. You got to protect your resources. Now, wood lines are a big deal. There's wood in the back. No one's gone to that just yet, but they will at some point. And there's that castle from El Quark. Meanwhile, Mayan player... maybe just opting for that second town center first. I'll take a look if he has the castle on the way. He must have the castle on the way because he's lost all of his stone. Maybe not. Maybe I'm incorrect on that. We'll have to pay attention. Meanwhile, the other Mayan player, who is the J squared, going for his castle right there. The interesting position. I mean, he could have put it next to this gold. I don't know why he's chosen to put it there. Maybe he just wants it in the middle of everything. But if units were to come around, like Conquistadors or Plumed Archers, they can run behind and... Ooh, boy. Oh, boy. KM just sent a little bit of resources to ZZ here. Oh, boy. I wonder if he's going to go full sling. I don't think he will. But we'll have to pay attention because, like I said, the Mayans player is going to be pretty strong. There's University now. He might be trying to fast imp with a sling. I'm quite confused by this. I'm quite confused by the sling if you don't have any military units. Still no castle up for him. I was going to say, he might be trying to just fast imp with the sling and go eagles, but you need a castle. So that castle's up. This castle's up. I question the decision from Poland to do what they're doing. I don't understand the move. There's El Quark's castle. Gonna be making Conquistadors. There are a lot of walls for Poland, which is good, but I don't get what DZ is doing now. He's on 2 TCs yet, and he's receiving resources from KY, and obviously KY is gonna be unable to make any military. Maybe they're just hoping they're not gonna receive any pressure. Meanwhile, it looks like knights are coming out and pressuring. Remy's going to try and send these knights out, but once Conquistadors get mass, it's not going to be easy, so he has to get some kills now, and finding these villagers on the shorefish, which is really good. He's probably going to claim 1 life. Now, eagles, as we saw last night, if you watch the stream, they're not great against knights once the knights get mass and get upgrades, but all 4 of these villas are going to go down, so that's really, really good for Poland. These units running out. Looks like Tiger's sending the knights this way, which is interesting that he's going to the right hand side, but of course they might not know where the players are located. DZ's now over here with his, or purple as I've been calling him. There's 2 DZs. He's coming over here with his Conquistadors, so he has his castle up there. That's a perfect position for that. These conks are going to run around. Of course, we might see monks to combat these Conquistadors, but more than likely we're just going to see a lot of Plumed Archers. There's actually a couple monks from Doesn't that look like green to you? It looks the same color as the tree. Like, this is DZ's, a Mayan player, but does that not look like green to you? I swear I'm not colorblind. But anyway, I think he is. I think DZ is going to fast imp this one. But it just hasn't been... It's been interesting. He's going to go up now. But it was a little bit slower than he would have liked. I'm actually going to switch point of views now. That way I don't have to hear that noise every once in a while. So here are the plumed archers now from J squared. But like I said, these villagers are good on pretty quick once conquistadors get close. Jay's going to need to get some upgrades, I think. He's currently at 4 range, so he's going to need to get +2 to deal with the massive amount of conquistadors. It just looks like a lot of booming up. I mean, of course, we do have the knights pressuring here and doing a good job from Remy, but just a lot of booming up from players. Not high aggression. Kind of what I expected, but there's the conquistadors, and you know, these small amount of units really are doing an awful lot. A couple knights claiming some villagers on the other side. Now we have purple coming around. Might be pushed away from L Quark and J squared combined. And probably some lag issues, but let's talk a little bit about how well DZ is going to be able to do. Getting a conversion there. Now we have a Mayan Knight. He's going to have 3 barracks. He's going to be receiving slings, so I foresee he's going to have a lot of eagles. He's going to be up against plumed archers, conquistadors, and knights. It's kind of exposed. There's not a lot of walls for the Black Forest team, so he might be able to do it. You know, I saw last night when Free Folk did it, or I think it was Tacos and Burritos versus Free Folk. There were a lot of knights needed to deal with the eagles. El Dorado came in on the eagles almost right away. But this time around, I don't know if Jay actually has... Oh, sorry, not Jay, but DZ actually has that castle up. And he doesn't have the castle up, so he's not going to get El Dorado or conscription right away, but he might use it just for defense, really. But he is on 3 TCs, so it's a little bit different than the situation we saw before. And still knights running around here from yellow, trying to cause problems. It looks like the plumed archers are massing from J squared. But DZ, all the focus is going to be on this guy. 5 barracks now. He's a lot of resources. He probably will go for that castle, but we're going to see Elite Eagle come in right away. And BF knows what's going on now. They got to be saying, hey, there's a sling. We have to deal with this. And how Free Folk dealt with it was by counter-slinging. So slinging someone who can make a lot of knights, which I guess Chinese would be good. Mongols would be good. Even Spanish would be good. I don't know if the conquistadors are the best choice, though. They're probably not them. If you look at the bill counts, J squared's doing a fantastic job. He's at 76, 78 bills now. Red's at 75, but of course he is just slinging resources. And now we're going to see these eagles come out, about to get the last defense upgrade. Castle's still not placed from DZ. Heart-shaped lake. Where's the heart-shaped lake? I have to look at all these lakes to figure out which one's the heart-shaped. The eagle's running out now. I'm surprised the castle actually hasn't gone up, because conscription's a big upgrade. I don't really understand that. But one thing I will say is that DZ's been untouched. Like, there's been no pressure this way. Knights now coming in from Remy to help out, and they're gonna... Oh my gosh, these villagers are gonna have to run away now. Because those knights just got in. The eagles now are gonna raid. They're just gonna go underneath town centers. And here we go. Now Bloodlines is immediately coming in from Tiger. I'm gonna go to Tiger's point of view and see if he's receiving any sling, because he might need it against the amount of eagles that are gonna come over the next 5-10 minutes. He's getting chain barding now. He has bloodlines, and a while ago he had no upgrades. We're still paying attention out here. I don't see a lot of conquistadors moving in. Remember that there were conquistadors from purple, and I'm not sure what they're doing right now. He actually has them back there, and that's actually a pretty good pickoff. But the plumes might just be enough to tempt him, or not tempt him, but to force him to run away. So in come the eagles. Tiger's making a lot of knights, but the eagles have a lot of upgrades. Still no El Dorado, keep in mind. But as you can see, 2 villagers, 3 villagers, 4 villagers going to go down in the blink of an eye here, and that's exactly what the Eagles will do. Here we actually have the Knights from blue. He's not back defending, and that's going to be a problem for him, I think. Those Eagles are just going to mass and go address that situation. Imperial Age coming in from J squared, though, and maybe he is the one that is now receiving resources from somebody. I don't have the overlay activated. I probably should have done that, but the overlay would tell me. And I assume he's going for Eagles as well. Now, if you look at his economy, he's at 91, and he's 40 bills ahead of DZ. But if he's not receiving Sling, I don't think it really matters. I think it's just still going to be in favor in the Eagle fight of DZ. He has all the upgrades now. Almost fully upgraded. He's getting there. He has Iron Casting coming in now. He's building more barracks. But we'll have to see what the play is from J squared. He certainly needs to go Eagles, I think, in this situation. Plumed Archers aren't going to be enough. He's not going to be able to get Elite Plumed Archer and all the upgrades. So he needs to, I think, invest in Eagles. And hopefully Tiger can hold, because Tiger really needs to do that. He needs to mass as many Knights as possible. It's very possible at 97 bills that J squared was not slung whatsoever, and he's just pretty much doing this all on his own. I hear bodies dying. I'm not quite sure what it was. Looks like a couple Eagles back here, but we're going to hear a lot of bodies go down because of these Eagles for sure. And Eagles continuing to push in now. Going to kill those villagers. These Eagles going back here. Going to aim down those villagers as well. And this is a bad situation for Philip because he's really not providing much help. And he's also on the front. So the Eagles are going to do an awful lot against him here. Conquistadors being massed from DZ. Well, he's going to probably abandon that and go into Knights because he's on his way up to the Imperial Age. KY is at 102 vills. I wonder if he's ever going to stop this Sling here, but I don't think he should because, oh my gosh, look at this. Phillips is just getting absolutely wrecked, and it's unfortunate for him, really, that he is on the front, but he needs some assistance. I don't think he can get the assistance because it looks like Blue is just still trying to clean up all of this, and the Sling is, I think, paying off in a big way. Pretty soon we might see some siege added in. We're going to look at DZ's point of view. He's finally put up that castle so he can get El Dorado and Conscription. Probably the first thing to come in there. Conquistadors, Knights, everything coming over from Malquark to try and deal with this. But that's a lot of Eagles, fully upgraded. And it's at the point now for Phillips where he can't really provide much help at all. He has a lot of idols. He doesn't have enough vills now after losing so many. And it's really all done on the other players to get him back into the game. And Conquistadors there, that can be helpful, but there's so many Eagles flooding in. And keep in mind, we're going to have probably Cavalier, or if there's two castles, yeah, probably Cavalier come in from DZ. So it's gonna be not just one player attacking them, but two. And right now, J squared, we're kind of waiting for him. What's he gonna do? Well, he has Eagles coming out. He doesn't even have Elite Eagle. I'm not even sure where he's sending these guys. But he's not going to be able to match up with the Elite Eagles of his opponent. And Remy's now on the way up to Imp as well. I just feel like the Sling's done such a good job, and he's Mongol. So that TC's gone out. Look at the military count, 44 for DZ. I just missed that TC being lost. This TC's going to go down, and poor Phillips is losing everything. Well, with Elite Mangadai involved, it's going to be even more difficult. And Remy's at 127 villagers, so he's going to be able to pull that off. That TC's going to go down. More vills going to go down. Phillips going to lose probably like 15 villagers in that area. More raiding happening here. The Eagles are just being annoying in this area. Just running away, but causing all the Knights and Conquistadors to follow. Meanwhile, he's sending more and more into this area, or at least will shortly. But there, look at all the dead bodies. Look at all the dead bodies. So many Eagles. Now it looks like Karto's coming in now for Red. Red's at 128 vills. I'm still curious I'm curious if he's going to eventually say, okay, you're good. I'm not going to sling anymore. It's a Castle Age sling, so it's pretty good. But I think he's going to stick with it. At this rate, he gives some slings to Yellow, gets the Mongols, Imp Technologies running. That's going to be fantastic for him. I'm still just wondering where the Eagles are from J squared, and this is just the difference when you don't have the sling. Just getting the last defense upgrade. He doesn't have near the military numbers he needs. And Elite Mangadai's in now. This is going to be really rough. I'm just waiting for the siege now from DZ's team, and there you go. There's the battering rams coming out now. And Poland seems to be in a really good position for this game 4. A lot of eagles, not really a lot of knights, and Paladin's now coming in on this side from Pink, which could have been something he did on his own, but also from receiving that sling. That castle looks ballsy, but it's gonna go up. There's no way that castle will be stopped. He's gonna have Paladin coming in, and also the eagles are here from his ally. There needs to be a way back for BF. Like, they need to win a big fight. They need to do something, but in almost every area, I see them outmatched. The Elite Mangudai are gonna shred the Conquistadors, and the Knights. Here, that castle's gonna go up. Here, they're being raided by eagles, and I just think it's very close to the GG, honestly. I don't think there's a way they can push this back. I don't see a way they can push it back. Especially once the Cavalier go in here to counter the eagles from J squared, which already are not good enough in comparison to now the El Dorado fully upgraded eagles from DZ. That castle's gonna go up, Siege is gonna come out, and there's the GG, and as kind of expected at this rate. And it looks like the sling really paid off. So, good games. Good games. I'll take a quick look at the achievements. Actually, I want to take a look at Red's resources too. Yeah, he was definitely full sling. Even receiving a little bit of rating, but it didn't matter. Okay. 216 units killed for DZ and 90 units lost. That's just what the sling does. Largest army 77, largest vill count 62. Yeah, that's the difference right there. So,